Time-restricted eating and intermittent fasting don't work, so just give up. At least that's what some of the conclusions are from a new study published in JAMA Internal Medicine. Is this true? Or are there some more details that we need to go into to see what this really means? I'm Dr. Brett Scher, the medical director at DietDoctor.com, and as you can probably guess, I think there's some more details we need to assess. Now, this is really interesting. I mean, at Diet Doctor, we've been big proponents of both intermittent fasting and time-restricted eating. Quick details, definitions to what we say at Diet Doctor. Time-restricted eating is really any fasting less than 24 hours. So whether that's 16-8, fasting for 16 hours, eating for 8 hours, or 18-6, whatever the case may be, that's that's time-restricted eating. And then short-term fasts are anything up to 36 hours, and longer-term fasts are more than 36 hours. So why are we in favor of this? Why do we propose it? Well, there's been lots of great evidence to suggest that it works for helping weight loss and for helping metabolic dysfunction, for improving blood sugar, improving insulin, improving HDL triglycerides, even improving LDL. And helping people do it in a way that's easy, doesn't take a lot of thought, actually saves money, saves time. So that sounds like a win-win, right? Well, now we have a randomized control study in 116 people over 12 weeks, run by Dr. Ethan Weiss, who I have to admit, personally and professionally, I'm a big fan of. And we have a podcast with him coming out very soon. But he orchestrated this study. And so 2 groups. One group eating 3 meals a day plus snacks if they're hungry between meals. The other group having all their calories between 12 p.m. and 8 p.m., but with no other guidance. No guidance about what to eat, how much to eat, just condense everything between 12 and 8 p.m. And after 12 weeks, what they found was there was really no significant difference in weight loss. There was a trend towards greater weight loss in the time-restricted eating group, but it was pretty small difference, so not statistically significant. But with a small sample size, okay, maybe it would have been significant with a larger sample size. But the other thing is there was no benefit to metabolic parameters, whether it's blood sugar, insulin, lipids, and so forth. And of the 50 subjects who had their body composition tested, there was a suggestion of increased lean body mass loss in the time-restricted eating group. Again, very small sample size, very small difference. Unclear what to make of that. But the take-home message in a lot of the headlines is time-restricted eating doesn't work. But I think we need to we need to rephrase that. And I go into detail about this in the post that we have at dietdoctor.com. But here's the thing. Any randomized controlled trial is subject to the way the trial is set up. So when you look at what happened, you look at the amount of calories eaten by the conventional group and the time-restricted eating group, they're the same. In fact, there was a trend towards more calories at the end of the study in the time-restricted eating group. So time-restricted eating potentially works by 2 ways. 1, as an easy and natural way to reduce your calories, and 2, as a way to really keep your insulin low. So let's take a look at that first one as a natural way to reduce your calories. Well, anytime I personally start one of my patients or my clients on time-restricted eating, one of the first pieces of advice I give is this is meant to drop one meal and not make up for it with the other meals, right? It's not like you reward yourself by eating more calories because you did the fasting. No, the point is to eat your 2 meals normally and just drop that one meal. Now, you may need to add a little bit of extra protein to those 2 meals to make sure you're getting adequate protein, but you don't try and make up the calories. That way it serves as a natural calorie reducer, but that didn't happen at all in this trial, and it wasn't designed to. People can fault Dr. Weiss and his colleagues and say, this was such a terrible design. Why didn't they do that? Well, there are claims out there, and there was a non-randomized study that showed without addressing what you eat or how much you eat, just simply doing time-restricted eating improves weight loss and metabolic parameters. So they designed this randomized controlled trial to test that theory. That theory didn't prove to be true in this study. But I think that it's a far cry from saying time-restricted eating doesn't work, because time-restricted eating does work if you use it as a way to reduce calories. Okay, I think that is pretty clear, but it has to work that way, and you have to instruct people to do that. Now, the other way, what about the other way? That it allows insulin levels to be low for a longer period of time rather than having sort of these constant insulin spikes. Well, this trial might suggest that that's the case. But here's the other caveat. There was no instruction on what they ate. So if they're eating more calories in that 12 to 8 period, what if they're also eating higher carb, nutrient, less dense type calories that's going to keep your glucose and insulin rising even more? Then you sort of have undone the benefits as well. So what I like to see and what I coach my clients on is, and what we recommend here at Diet Doctor, is if you're going to do time-restricted eating, still what you eat matters. So follow a low-carb diet that's going to continue to keep your glucose and your insulin levels low throughout the day, and you're going to likely compound the benefits. Now, we don't have randomized controlled trials definitively proving that, but there are trials, and we'll link to some of them below that we've written about already at Diet Doctor that show the benefits of doing this, that show benefits of time-restricted eating. So, and there are other caveats as well to the study. Maybe eating at 8 p.m. was too late and moving it forward to 6 p.m. or 5 p.m. or having your bigger meal earlier in the day when you're more insulin sensitive might be better. There are lots of caveats, as there are to any randomized control trial. Doesn't mean the researchers did a terrible job, right? Doesn't mean they set up an awful trial. It means they tested one specific hypothesis. But it also doesn't mean to throw out the entire concept of time-restricted eating, as some unfortunate headlines are recommending. So I hope this was helpful to help walk you through the study, what it does show, and more importantly, what it does not show, and how we can still use time-restricted eating as a beneficial health intervention for many of us, as long as we can continue to use it as a calorie reducer and not something that stimulates cravings or stimulates hunger, that forces us then to overeat or encourages us to overeat during that eating window, because it does happen and we need to guard against that. All right, you can learn more by clicking the links below to our time-restricted eating guide and to a couple of the other posts we have. And I hope this was helpful. Please let us know, and click like and subscribe down below so you'll get all regular updates here from Diet Doctor on YouTube. Thanks a lot, everybody.